Perhaps it has happened to all of us in the last few weeks or months that we have failed to recognise a friend or neighbour immediately, that we've seen them because they're wearing a face mask. Another scenario with masks is that we struggle to work out who spoke to us. If there's a few people behind the counter, who spoke? And then we struggle to hear what they said because they're mumbling in the mask. Perhaps we might begin, as a result of that experience, to realise just how important a face is. It is the full features of the face that reveal the unique person. We want to know the person behind the mask. We like to get to know others for who they truly are. It's difficult enough in a full face-to-face conversation across a table to really understand another person. It's even more difficult when one or both parties is wearing a mask. We all know how good we are at hiding things from others, even from ourselves. It's even easier to be less than fully transparent when wearing a mask. Well, enough about masks. That's just the introduction. Now the good news, the gospel. We're told to seek the face of Christ. Constant theme. In the Psalms, in the Old Testament, in the New Testament. Well, we can do this by imitating the shepherds. At first they're afraid. They're afraid because of the strange and unusual light from the angels. And in the light of the angels, they somehow see themselves and their own unworthiness, all their little hypocrisies and dissimulations. They do not feel worthy of this good news that they are given. But they do go and seek the child. They find themselves kneeling before this newborn baby, lost in contemplation. We can learn from that. We are created to contemplate the face with a capital F. The divine human face of our Saviour. That's our vocation, to discover his face. When the shepherds knelt down, perhaps they saw in the face of the child the beauty of God. And that same beauty reflected in the face of the mother and in the face of Joseph. The face of the baby had them intrigued, spellbound. There in that face, they found intimations of immortality, something indestructible, something godlike. They discovered a face that was destined to survive death and to destroy death, to put an end to the devastation of decay. These rough shepherds found themselves deeply moved. Perhaps they also found in the face of the child the compassion of God. A God who was so moved by our miseries that he wanted to dwell among us in humility, in order to give meaning and purpose to human life from beginning to end, from cradle to grave. Meaning and purpose. Christianity cannot be reduced to a series of doctrines. Christianity is a person, a presence, indeed a face. And there, in the face of the baby, they discovered true inspiration, as did the Dutch artist Matthias Stomer, who painted the Adoration of the Shepherds. In the painting, the rugged faces of the shepherds are bathed in a light which streams from the face of the Christ child while they contemplate. We too need to learn how to contemplate, to behold the face of Christ, to seek his face, so that then we can see him ultimately in the face of others, and then in the glory of the beatific vision in heaven. It's our vocation. Now, Pope Francis was recently conversing with scientists about robots and the progress of artificial intelligence. And after listening for a long time to the scientists explaining exactly what robots will be able to do in the future, Pope Francis asked an important question. Is there anything, he said, that you scientists agree will never be achieved by any robot? Now, there was much discussion amongst the scientists, but they could only agree on one thing being impossible for artificial intelligence. One thing. Tenderness, they said. Tenderness. And that is perhaps what the hard-hearted and hard-headed shepherds found in the face of the child. Tenderness. And the same quality reflected in the faces of Joseph and Mary. Mercy follows upon tenderness. Forgiveness comes from empathy. There'll be no tenderness, no compassion, no mercy, no forgiveness if we lose the gentle quality of tenderness. In the cruel Roman world, mercy was regarded as a weakness, not as a virtue. But in the Beatitudes of Jesus, mercy is a Christian disposition and makes a big difference. So, to conclude, in the words of the psalmist, "Thy face, O Lord, I seek, hide not your face from me."